Hi guys, I'm live. It says I'm live. I must be live. So great to be with you. So great to connect with you. And, I really need to find a way to let you all know so it's all clear when I go live. But look, like and subscribe and hit the bell button, and then at least you get to see when we go live. Here's the great thing about going live. You get to see what your room looks like. I don't want to have that ball in the background, that exercise ball. I forgot to move it, but who cares? Who cares? So I am so thrilled to be with you this evening on this theme because, it occurred to me that if we're not careful, we could be colluding in creating a future. I mean, all of us together collectively, we could be colluding to creating a future, to allowing a future to unfold, to come about that we don't even want. And we're not perhaps, creating it consciously because we've been living for 18 months across the world with nonstop talk of restrictions, how the world is changing, what's not possible. And it would be so understandable if you, consciously or not, just put your life on hold. I mean, stop thinking about what you really want. Stop thinking about your growth. Stop thinking about what you want to create in your life going forward, your future. It would be so easy for you to have done that and understandable. But here's the thing. I think this is the time now to snap out of that, to snap out of it. Hello, so great to see you all there. So great to see you. I'm just talking about snapping out of this spell that we have been in for 18 months, quite understandably. Yes, yes, yes. But the thing is, we've been living with restrictions, external restrictions, limitations on our personal freedom of movement. And my concern is that we could so easily be colluding, going along with, as a collective, the world over, someone else's vision of what's possible, which frankly might not be very exciting and might not be very much. So, I think that this is the time where we all get to snap our fingers and remember that you get to create your future. You get to create your life. You're in the driving seat, not the passenger seat. I think we've been in the passenger seat for quite some time. And I know that there are physical restrictions. I know that. I do. I also know that if we don't decide to nonetheless create and find ways to create what we want in our life, that life will just contract, that our vision of what's possible for our life will just get smaller and smaller. And how is that going to feel? And I also think that what happens in the future is not set in stone right now. It's not set in stone right now. Even those in positions of power, politicians, etc., cannot guarantee what's going to happen. Here's why. They need us, you and me, the people. They need us to agree, in effect, to whatever they do. So even though they can talk about certain things, certain changes that they want to bring about, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think a lot of these politicians are power mad right now. I think that they have got so pumped up and carried away with the power that they have had over the past 18 months. People listening to their every word, them coming on TV at a certain time to tell us what's going to happen. I honestly do think that a lot of those politicians are just high on power. And some of the time they're putting ideas out there, and they're putting ideas out to test the water, to test the water, to see how we feel about it, whether we're going to welcome that, whether we're going to go along with it, or actually whether it's a step too far. And we're going to go, no, I'm not going to comply with that. And, we all get to decide where we stand on all these specific issues. I saw something in the Daily Mail last week that made me laugh. The Daily Mail, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a very middle of the road, it's a very middle class, it's a very mainstream newspaper. And one of their, most respected writers, lovely person, I'm sure, it's called Belle Mooney. And she wrote this indignant piece, like, I've had enough, right? This is too far. This is a step too far. And it was quite funny. And she said, I'm on a train going into London. I've got a mask on. I'm double vaxxed. I've got my vaccine passport. And that's as far as I am going. Right. I think that we should all delete this NHS app that's pinging everybody and destroying our country. That's a step too far. So I think we should all, it's like, Middle England is going to revolt, delete those NHS apps right now. So I thought it was funny. She was like, she's decided, I've complied to this extent. Mask, vaccine passport, double vaxxed. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not doing any of that. And that's up to you. You get to decide on these particular issues, right? But it just got me thinking that whose version of the future are you allowing to define your future? And I think that we get to get conscious at this point and decide where we stand on these various issues, of course. And also just remember, this is not set in stone. Believe me, politicians put ideas out there, and it's to see how we feel about it, right? I'm just going to see your comments. I wish I could read your comments without having to put these horrible glasses on, which I really hate. Hello, Paula. Hi, Helen. Hey, lovely to see you there. Great to see you there. So there's that, okay? But here's the other thing. I want you to know from experience that your greatest challenge in creating something different for your future, in your future, is your current reality. If you base your future, what you want to create in your future, on your current reality, guess what's likely to happen? You got it. Put it in the chat box. What's going to happen? If you base your future that you want to create on your current reality, what's likely to happen? The answer is nothing very different. Nothing very different. Lovely to see you there. You're likely to get something a little bit different, but nothing very different. Okay? So the real challenge is to be able to create something really different. When you want to create something really different, significantly different from where you are right now, the challenge is where you are right now, okay? Because that's what you've created. That's your comfort zone. You know where you stand. You know how to do that. You know how to do more of the same, right? So for you to create something significantly different, it's going to take something different, okay? So, everything that I have achieved, everything I've created in my life, it's been through applying certain strategies. And that's why I'm here to share everything I know that works with you, everything I know that works with you, for you. And I also think that we're living in these extraordinary times. So if I feel I've got something that has worked for me and is relevant to right now, I'm going to come on out here and I'm going to share it with you. I'm not holding anything back. And look, it's not about me bragging. It's not about me, hey, I did this. Isn't that wonderful? No, God, I'm not interested in that remotely. I'm interested in being really honest with you and sharing with you what has worked for me, exactly how it's worked, and exactly what I did. Does that seem like a deal? Good deal? Now, here is my invitation to you. So that's my part of the deal. What I ask from you is that you have an open mind. Can I get a yes to an open mind? And the other thing I ask from you is that you apply and try what I'm offering you, right? Because look, this isn't academia. This isn't theory. This only works when you apply it, when you try it and you apply it. So that's my invitation. Can I get a yes in our chat box if you are up for that? And then I invite you to stay with me on this journey. Stay with me on this, because there's no point in me giving you ideas and then just going, well, good luck with that. No, I want to stay with you on this journey. I want to support you so we get some good results for you, right? Thank you for those yeses. I'm going to be here Saturday morning as well, 10 o'clock. So I'm going to make regular commitments to be here. Saturday morning, I might try and do a Zoom thing so I get to see you and connect a little bit more. But either way, 10 o'clock. And 10 o'clock UK time on Saturday. And also I'm going to put a link in, not maybe later, tomorrow or something, to make sure that you're all on my email list, because that's where you get to hear about everything I'm doing. Okay. So let's see. I invite you to try. I invite you to apply. Otherwise, look, you're just hearing stuff and it could even sound interesting. You could even think, well, that's terrific. Isn't that great that Fiona did that? No, that's not the point of me being here. Point of me being here is to show you what I did so that you can take it and apply it to whatever extent that you want to, whatever resonates for you, whatever lands for you. Because I just know that if we go along with other people's version of the future, it could be a bit grim, actually, in my opinion, okay? Because we're on the verge of losing a lot of freedoms. That's one thing. And also for us all personally, holy smolies, we could give over our power without even noticing it to the notion that external circumstances are what it's all about. So therefore, we got to wait for external circumstances to change, to get better, before we can start to think about a bigger life, more of what we want. I know that's not true. So look, what I'm about to share with you is probably deeply metaphysical. I don't know. I've never looked into it that deeply. I have. That's not true. But there's probably a deeper way that one could look into it. But here's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in challenging everything. I'm interested in challenging everything. I'm interested in taking ideas and applying them, right? Even before I know that they're going to work. And for some of you, that's what I'm inviting you to do now. Okay, so let's get to the nitty-gritty. Way back in the day, over 30 years ago, I know it's hard to believe, but over 30 years ago, I reinvented myself. It was like, they say you get one big reinvention in a lifetime. I don't know who says that, but it sounds pretty good. And that was my big reinvention. I was living the life of, I guess, an activist. I was living in Brixton in South London at a time when there was a squatting movement. Now, don't panic. I'm not talking about moving into people's homes while they're on holiday. I mean, there were empty buildings. just empty buildings, houses, empty buildings that the council didn't have the money to fix up. So nobody was going to live in them. And there were lots of us young people who got together and we moved into those buildings, quite frankly. And we did them up ourselves. So it was really taking direct action, if you like. I mean, it was a pretty exciting time, I'll be honest. I, at one point, lived with a group of people in this cooperative, collective household. And then I realized that I needed to move on so that I could do work like this, quite frankly. I just needed to move on. And I couldn't move on and stay with those same people. Well, it's not a judgment thing, remember that. It's just I knew I was changing dramatically and I needed to have the space and scope to do that. And if you're going to change dramatically, you can't really stay in the same environment. I mean, for starters, those people wouldn't have wanted me around, quite frankly, because I would have been at odds with their view of the world. So I went and I found myself another place to live, which was another squat, empty house. And I took responsibility for fixing it up, getting help, of course, to fix it up. It was my own money. And I made it really nice, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, we are talking a squat in Brixton. So the reason I'm telling you that is so that you understand what my reality was at that time, what my circumstances were at that time, the conditions of my life, okay? Because what I was about to consider and contemplate and create was very different. I mean, very different, like another world from this world. Can you get that? If I had just wanted to, play with changing this and improving it a little bit, well, I would have changed it, improved it a little bit, but it wouldn't have been very different. So I decided to let go of seeing my current conditions as limiting me and what I could create. Yeah. I had spent a lot of time studying and applying creative visualization, positive thinking. I'd done a lot of courses. I was very interested in, thoughts being creative, creating your own reality, metaphysics, science of mind. So I was absolutely immersed in all of that, okay? So I sat down in my squat. I remember it so well, kitchen table. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I am going to do this coaching thing, and, I don't even know if it was officially called coaching at the time, but I think, when I started out, I called it self-esteem consulting. And then when coaching came into our vocabulary, I called it coaching. But I thought to myself, I found something for the first time in my life that I just knew was my thing. It was like my calling. It was like my eureka. It was like, this is it. When I left university, I was never sure. I could have taken a career in, journalism because I was good at writing, or, radio journalism. Those were the things that a career advisor would have suggested. I just didn't feel pulled to those. So I had my break, my wasted years, if you like, my campaigning, my activism, all of that stuff. And then when I discovered this, coaching, that was like, my Lord, this is my thing. This is my thing. So I sat there and I thought to myself, you know what, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to spend my life doing this, this is it. This is my life's work. I want to be really good at it. I mean, actually, I want to be the best. Now, was there a little bit of ego there? I mean, look, it was a long time ago, super young, obviously. Was there a little bit of ego there? There probably was, truthfully. So I wanted to be like the best, but also I was committing to making myself the best that I could be. It was a commitment. I was dedicating my life to it. So here's what I did. I decided that that being the case, I would just commit there and then to what I wanted. And what I wanted, therefore, was to be the best. I wanted to be Britain's leading life coach. I used the phrase life coach at the time. Now I'm a bit more of a business coach. I work with in businesses and I work with individuals, but life coach was what was emerging at the time, what I was seeing myself as. And I wrote that down. I wrote it down. Wish I had that piece of paper today, eh? So I wrote it down that I want to be the country's top life coach. And I posted something earlier today on Facebook, and I actually showed the front cover of one of my books, The 7 Rules of Success. And you can see the quote. It's right there from the Daily Mail. And they called me the country's leading life coach. So what was I doing there? And what am I suggesting that you do? I was laying claim to my future. I was putting a stake in the ground and I was laying claim to my future. Some people call this you're prophesying. You're prophesying over your future. You're claiming it. You're claiming it. So my invitation to you is claim it. Claim your future. Claim it. Do it now. Decide what is yours, what you're laying claim to, whatever that is for you, whatever is important, regardless of your current reality, regardless. Let that go. Don't let that be the thing that defines your future possibilities. Just don't. Otherwise it will, right? Esther Hicks, I didn't know at the time, but Esther Hicks, Abraham channeling, all of that, law of attraction, she talks about the importance of this. I hadn't read this at the time, by the way, but she talks about the importance of your desired reality and making sure that your point of attraction is what you want, not based on your current reality. So ignore your current reality. You see, this isn't about logical goal setting. I'll be honest with you. And if you're a logical goal setter, you get to have some fun. You get to have some fun with this. And you get to let go of that process of creation. Now, there's nothing wrong with that process of creation, by the way, but it's not the only process of creation, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And it's not the only process of creation. And the truth is, if you want something significantly different from your current reality, then what I'm offering you now, and by the way, it's not like I made this up, I invented it. Of course not. Of course not. I'm just sharing with you exactly what I did and exactly how it worked. Because sometimes that's just a little bit more real than reading lots of stuff and books, okay? So you claim it. You lay claim to it. I invite you to have a deep and meaningful conversation with yourself where you really decide what you deserve, what you want, what you really, really want. It's like your secret desire, your secret longing, your secret dream. That's what you get to lay claim to. See, I didn't tell anybody that I had done that. that I had made that decision, that I'd written down what I wanted. I didn't, because frankly, they probably would have laughed. They'd have gone, sure, you have hardly any clients, you have not very much money, and you live in a squat. Sure, go for it. So I didn't discuss that. I didn't disclose that with anyone. And it might be that you decide to do that too. Keep it close to your chest. It's like not casting your pearls to swine. That sounds a bit extreme, but it's true. Because when you have that desire, that dream, and it's in its infancy, it's delicate. It's delicate. It's delicate. And you get to protect it. You get to guard it because it's too precious and it's too new. It's in its infancy. And you see, you don't have any hardcore evidence or results. So that could be quite delicate for you in your own imagination. And you want to keep yourself on track without other people throwing you off it. Okay, now here's the second thing. You get to, and by the way, let me just remind you of the results. So I would say in less than a year, people in the media were calling me those exact words. It's pretty spooky when you think about it. They were using those same words. That's why I shared that quote today. It's not like, hey, look at me. It's like, no, it's the exact same words. The country's leading life coach or top life coach, whatever it was, and lots more similar. And that started in my mind. I imagined that. I laid claim to it, to that place, that positioning, that status. So I want you to see how this works. The second thing is you get to see it. You get to see it. So this is you using your mind, all that untapped creativity that you have within you. You know, that power of your mind, that power of your imagination. 95% of your mind is unconscious. And your physiology and your mind can't tell the difference between a real event and an imagined event. So you get to summon up the pictures in your mind of this desired reality so that it feels inevitable, so that it feels more real. You see, now we all know in the past 30 years there's been all this evidence to confirm that this visualizing that desired result really works. You know, they've looked at all these tennis players and all these golfers, and they see the ball landing exactly where they want it to land. They play that over and over in their minds. It's like the inner game of tennis, the inner game of golf. So visualize yourself with the book deal, in the newspaper, in the magazine, your bank account, people calling you, emailing, asking you for your help, saying yes to your invitation to work with you, or whatever those results are for you. Can I get a yes if this is making sense? Give me a yes in that chat box if this is making sense. So you get to visualize what you want. Remember, this is you taking back your power, the power of your mind to create the reality that you want. Because if you have been watching the news a lot, images are constantly being offered to you as to your future reality. So Make sure that you're really conscious about the media that you are watching. Don't just leave it on willy-nilly, whether it's the radio or the TV or whether it's online. Choose what you're exposing yourself to and do it consciously and do it in a very controlled way, okay? And be very mindful of what's being said and spoken, okay? So that it's not getting under your skin. Third thing that you want to do is you get to feel it. Now, this is so important. This is what all the sort of spiritual teachers talk about when they talk about manifesting. You'll see this in the Bible. In the Bible, they talk about prayer. You pray as though you've already received what you're asking for, because that's how they see faith. So in effect, you're praying as a thank you for what I'm about to receive. I am truly grateful. That's a great way to pray, actually. That's a great way to set your intention. For what I am about to receive, I am truly grateful. Thank you. So you get to summon up the energy within yourself as though you've already received your desire, your dream, that event, that thing, that reality. Now that is what Esther Hicks says is the real thing that speeds up manifestation, whether you want to call it the law of attraction or whatever you want to call it. It's the feeling. You know, the great metaphysical teacher Neville Goddard, who Wayne Dyer cited as his great teacher, the person that he paid most attention to in terms of metaphysical teaching was an Englishman. I think he lived most of his life in Barbados. And he wrote a great book called Feeling is the Secret. He wrote a number of great books, but that's probably his main core work. And of course, like all great books, the title tells you everything. Feeling is the secret. Feeling the energy of that which you want. So in that way, again, you're discounting. In a way, you're not being limited by your current reality, your current circumstances and conditions. No. You are taking on the energy and the feel of your future desired outcome. And in this way, you close the gap. You see, you close the gap. You make it much faster. And my invitation to you is this: let go of time being a constraint. Let go. You know what? When we typically people set goals and they're like, well, that's going to take a year. That's going to take 6 months. So what do I get to do in 3 months? What does the next month look like? That's okay. That's a logical way to create results. There's another way. And the other way is to know that everything may be a limitation in your thinking, in your perception, and just your way of doing things. There's no beating up. You're not beating yourself up. There's no criticism whatsoever. It's just having an open mind to the way you have done things, and perhaps the way you've been taught to do things, and perhaps the way most people do things. You get to open your mind to a different way of doing things. Now, I am evangelical about this stuff. You can probably hear that because I know it works. Do I know exactly how it works? Not really, but I don't know exactly how electricity works, to be honest. But I know that when I press that switch, I have the faith that things are going to happen. So I use it and I apply it. So, and I have to remind myself of this as well on a regular basis, because remember, this isn't the way that we typically do life, that we're expected to do life, that we're taught to do life, that perhaps the way most people do life, it's different, okay? So feeling it. Now, would you be interested for me if I spoke you through, if I walked you through a little meditation, a visualization, if you like, that gets you into the feeling? Take about 5-10 minutes. That takes you into the feeling of that desired reality that you want. Give me a yes if you're up for that. Great. We're going to do that. Okay. It also makes life so much nicer, to be honest, because you're raising your frequency. You're getting to feel more excitement. You're getting to feel more energized. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm on a mission. Why do I feel so good? Because you're in the energy of what it is you want to create, you see? Now, this is the opposite of what most people do. I'm always trying to get my son to do this, and he's like, no, I'm not going to get excited until I've got the thing, until it's definitely happened, because I don't want to get disappointed, you see? And that's the way most people do things. It's a hard way to go through life. It's a hard way to do things because you withhold feeling good. You withhold feeling the energy of that which you want to create. You stop yourself feeling that vibration. And that, by all accounts, is the key. That you get into vibrational alignment with that which you want to bring into your reality. I didn't know all of this theory, I'll be honest, 30 years ago. I really didn't. I had nothing to lose. Maybe you don't either. I had nothing to lose. And I was willing to commit myself completely to this possibility, to this way of doing things. So feeling really is the secret. I think it's the thing that speeds things up. So get yourself comfortable. Let's do this. Unless you are driving or operating heavy machinery, close your eyes if you'd like to. Close your eyes. Take a beautiful breath in. Beautiful breath out. And letting go. Letting go of everything. Letting go of the day. Letting go of everything that you don't need right now. Letting go of limitations, conscious or unconscious. Just with the power of your intention. Setting your intention to let go. Let go. Just let them pass right out of you. Take another beautiful breath in. And let it go. Letting your shoulders soften and relax. Your neck soften and relax. Your head, your face. Your entire body. Any tension, tightness, or tiredness pouring out of you. Beautiful. Just with the power of your intention. Good. Feeling that clear, fresh energy come in as you let go of anything that you don't need. Anything that doesn't serve, strengthen, or support you going forward. Letting it go. And now, see yourself in your mind's eye. A little bit further along from where you are now. You're on the same path as you are on now. You're just a little bit further along. It's you. And you're seeing yourself bright and bold and somewhat lit up. And you are doing the thing that you would be doing when you have this desired outcome. What is the action? What is it that you're doing that shows you have that desired outcome, that ideal reality, that wish fulfilled? That wish fulfilled. What are you doing? See yourself doing it, engaged in that activity. You're smiling. You're relaxed. You feel so at ease because you're in your element. You're in your element. It's natural. This is coming natural to you because you are aligned with your natural talents. You're aligned with the place in life that you're here to take up. You're naturally in the best place for you, free from restriction, free from limitation. Enjoy seeing yourself there. And now I invite you to take a beautiful breath in. And take a breath from that place of the wish fulfilled. Notice the energy of joy, perhaps, the energy of accomplishment, of achievement. How does that energy feel? Breathe it in. Breathe it in right now, that beautiful breath in. And as you breathe out, let it flow all through you, right through your body, right through where you are right now, sitting here right now. Let that energy flow right through you. That energy of joy, perhaps, excitement, enthusiasm, accomplishment, achievement. It feels so good. Breathe that in from seeing yourself in that place. Breathe that in. And breathe it out and let it flood through you right now. Where you are right now, let that energy flood through you, through your mind, your body, every nerve, cell, and fiber of your body and your being. Beautiful. Take another beautiful breath from that place. And let it flood and flow right through you into every nerve, cell, and fiber of your body and your being. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful feeling because it's the feeling of you and your wish fulfilled. It's you in that place of accomplishment and achievement and perhaps joy, excitement and enthusiasm. You are feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled, of your desire, of how you would feel with that manifest in reality. And the beauty is you don't have to wait to have that feeling. You're having the feeling of the wish fulfilled right now. Right now. You're in vibrational alignment to that which you wish to bring about. There is no discord, no disconnection. You are on the same wavelength of that which you wish to bring about. And it's a beautiful feeling. Beautiful feeling. Beautiful. Enjoy that feeling. And I invite you to keep that feeling within you. Keep it feeling within you. Now, and for the hours ahead, and when you wake up in the morning, just as you're waking up, I invite you to recall this picture of yourself in the place that you're moving into, in that activity that shows you that dream, that desire, that wish is fulfilled. I invite you to feel the energy, to summon up that energy. And before You get out of bed in the morning, you fill yourself up with that beautiful energy of accomplishment and achievement, perhaps joy, excitement, and enthusiasm. And at different times during the day, you recall it and you remind yourself and you ensure that it's in place. In place. You may want to wear something small on your wrist that reminds you to recall and install that energy so that you keep it consistently within you during the course of your day, so that you are in vibrational alignment with the reality that you are bringing about. Not your current reality, the reality that you are bringing about. Beautiful. I invite you, before you go to sleep at night, to have this as the last thing that you see, the last thing that you feel, so that as you go into your dream state, into all those hours that you spend in that other state, that is what you fall asleep to, in that vibrational harmony with that which you are bringing about. Beautiful. Beautiful. When you're ready, in your own time, no rush at all. Feel your body on the chair. Feel your feet. Feel your hands. Feel your body. Beautiful. In your own time, when you're ready. No rush at all. Open your eyes. Beautiful. 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 How gorgeous. Tell me how you're feeling. So you claim it, you see it, and you feel it. I'll put this into a little meme and I'll put it out there tomorrow. Check on Facebook and I'll put a link. I'll get a link organized for tomorrow to make sure that if you're not on my mailing list that you get on that, because then you get a lot of stuff that's going on and you get things like this. So you claim it, you see it, and you feel it. I remember listening to this chap called David Nagel. He's a great manifestor, a great teacher of metaphysical principles. I did some training with him in Los Angeles some years ago. And I remember him saying that when he wanted to create this transition, this major shift in his life, he literally stood and he stamped his feet on the ground. And he said, I claim it. I claim this. This is mine. I claim it. Now you could do that. You could absolutely do that. And here is another, let me know how you're feeling, by the way. Just put it in the chat box how you're feeling. I mean, here is another hugely important key, I believe, to manifesting and speeding up the process. You get to align with what's for your highest good. Because here's what I believe. I believe we're not going to manifest what is not for our highest good. So that's probably why some people just don't manifest certain things. Because the truth is, we are not God. And we don't have the full perspective of our life's journey and the evolution of our soul, if you like, our eternal spirit. You know, look, we're all here to grow. I believe that we made an agreement before we incarnated into this lifetime, or any lifetime probably. I believe that we made an agreement in terms of what our life, our experience was going to be about this time around, the lessons that we got to learn, which included our conditions and circumstances of our life, especially our early life and the family that we get born into. Do I know that for sure? Well, not really, but I just choose to see it that way because it's an empowering way to look at things, because we get to make sense of everything. And we also get to take responsibility for everything. And that's not blame. That's responsibility. That's asking the question, why would I want that experience in my life? How can I make use of that experience in my life? What's the lesson that I could be taking from that situation? And here's the thing, it's usually the tough times that we get our lessons, our biggest lessons. Now, I don't want any of us to be thinking we got to have tough times forever. I don't believe that. Here's what I believe. I think life becomes tough and difficult when we don't get the lessons. You know, when I see people living in constant struggle, what I see is people who are not being really honest and choosing to see the lessons that are there for them. So they keep on getting the same experience. They keep on getting the same awful relationship. They keep on having the same financial problems, or the same business problems, yeah? And the thing is, if something keeps repeating itself in your life, it's like, wait a minute, there's a reason for that. I believe it's because one isn't getting the lesson. And once you get the lesson, it doesn't have to, it's like yo shushi, that conveyor belt. It's like, oh no, not the sticky white rice again. So once you get the lesson, it doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to happen again. It's like, I got it. Thank you. I got it. So that's why it's so important, I believe, to enshrine what we are seeing, claiming, and feeling, to enshrine all of that into the context of, if this is for my highest good and for the greatest good of all, for the greatest good of all, for the greatest good of all, so that your motivation is of the highest order, your vibration is pure and of the highest. So the highest vibrations are, of course, compassion, unconditional love, joy, generosity, compassion for all. So you want to make sure that you are in that place. And this isn't about having power over people. And I'm sure if you're here now, that it's not who you are, but I'm just making this really simple and plain. This is about, if you want more power, if you want to be more effective in the world, you got to ensure that you enshrine that in the context of service to others. Doesn't mean that you can't have a wonderful life, love your life, and enjoy your life. Of course. Of course. But your motivation for more is to be more. It's to be more of yourself so that you can play the part that only you can play in this lifetime, in this world. So, I'm all about empowerment, all about empowerment. My own empowerment, going beyond any limits that I have imposed upon myself. And all limits and limitations are self-imposed, whether we're aware of them or not, because we get to break free of them. We get to break through them. That's in our power. And the point of that breaking free, the point of that empowerment, is to be the fullest expression of you in the world that you are here to be. It's growth. Yeah, it's all about growth. It's all about growth. I mean, I remember when I was about maybe 9, I just had this moment. You know the way you remember these moments in life? They're just a little bit random, but you just notice they stay with you. I just had this insight that the worst thing in life, I mean, I was about 8 or 9 at the time, so it's all very dramatic, that the worst thing in life must be to get to a point in your life where you had regrets, like things you hadn't done, yeah? And it was too late. I thought to myself, yeah, I would not want to get to 40. Oh, that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Now, that would be too late. That would be so old, so late. But it's not a bad sort of thing to think about, to remind oneself of, because we got to make the most of life, for goodness sakes. And also, thank God we have our health and our strengths, and I hope that you have. I do, thank God. We can't take that for granted. Life is now. Life is now. None of us can take for granted anything. Sometimes I hear people say things like, oh, maybe I'll do it next year. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're 66 or you're 67. Sorry, you're 76. Come on. But the truth is, whatever age you are, we can't take anything for granted. We can't take our health for granted, our energy for granted. We just can't. Life is now. You get to make the most of yourself right now. There is a place for you to be, a place for you to take up, a part for you to play in life that only you can play. Only you can play. That's what this is all about. It's not, about manifesting the house, unless the house supports you in your path in life. Is this making sense? I'm just going to mention something about, things for your highest good. I claim this home. It's mine. That's so good. And here's the important thing, Helen. Ensure that you see the point of it. Ensure you see the point, the purpose of everything. Okay. So when you think about the house, think about the why, not the how. Think about the why. How is that house going to support you in your life's mission, in the work that you're here to do, in the path and the part that you're playing? How is that going to support you? You see? So, none of this is about, there's anything wrong with material things, but I think you're much more likely to materialize material things when you see the point, when they're clearly aligned with your highest good and the greatest expression of you. Good. Hi, Deborah. Lovely to see you there. Paula, Helen, great. And I invite you to make sure that you've subscribed here. And I think if you press that bell, you get notified whenever we do go live on here and all that stuff. And if you would share this, that would be so great as well. What are you hearing? What's your takeaway? And any questions that you have? Good Lord, I've just been talking nonstop for the past hour. And I could talk for ages on this. I love this stuff. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm creating a change in something I'm adding into my business at the moment. I want to work more with organizations, with companies, especially because people are feeling so disconnected at work. And work is never going back to the way it was. Some people are never going to go back to the office, whether they want to or not, because some organizations are just going to change completely and not have expensive offices. They're just going to have, now that they've figured out that it can work this way, they're just going to have people out there at home. Now, that can work brilliantly for some people, and it can be not so good for others. Some organizations will have some people in the office, some people at home. So people are going to be like passing ships. They're going to miss out on that connection. They're going to miss out on that community. So I feel called, and I feel so excited about it. I feel called to do something about that, to contribute. So I feel so excited about reaching out to organizations and companies and offering something I put together that I just love, that helps create a mastermind, in effect, in organizations. Creates a mastermind. And it's a way of bringing people together so that they have that connection and they have that sense of belonging and they have that sense of community, even though they might be, all over the place. Because the truth is, you can do it. And I think we've seen that during these times. You can build community. Like, I feel connected with you here. And you're not in my living room, but I feel connected to you. So we can do that. And here's the worst thing for people. The worst thing for people is isolation. It shuts down that part of your mind, that isolation and fear shuts down the part of your mind that is creative, that gives you solutions to problems. Your confidence can sink. That's why solitary confinement is the worst punishment, in a jail situation. And yet, in many ways, many people have been living like that. It's a very bad thing indeed. So I get to do something about it. So I'm doing exactly that process that I've just talked you through. I'm doing that now. It's second nature for me to operate in that way. I don't even have to consciously go, right, claim it, see it, feel it. I just notice that I automatically do that. Like, I feel so clear now. Here's what's happening. Sorry, I'll finish my sentence. I feel so clear now that I just know that's inevitable. That additional part of how I get to be in the world. So, and what's happening, here's the interesting thing. What's happening is I keep procrastinating and getting really tied up with making the information perfect that I need to create about this. I just need to create a page that describes what it is, all this stuff. And I keep getting so caught up in making it perfect. But here's what's happening. People are asking me about it that I haven't even spoken to about it. I've had 3 conversations with people in this last week about this program that I'm offering. And it doesn't exist on paper anywhere. Isn't that hilarious? One of those persons came to me and said, listen, I want to talk to you about something like, do you do any corporate stuff? Because we really have a motivation, maybe a mental health issue going on. And I thought about you. You came into my mind. I've not put that out there anywhere. It's nowhere. It doesn't exist on paper or on a website or online. 3 people are existing clients, but this other person just came, So isn't that interesting? I mean, it sort of doesn't even surprise me. I mean, look, one gets to appreciate it. One gets to go, oh, wow, that's happening. How exciting it's happening. Whoa, woohoo. But it just, doesn't even surprise me. So anything else, my darlings? Any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to love you and leave you. Yeah, we're just over the hour. We did pretty good. And I'm back here at 10 o'clock on Saturday, 10 a.m. Any questions before we finish, before we complete? Pardon me. Anything at all? Anything at all? I'm heading off tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'm heading off to go and see my son up in Newcastle. He's working up there. Newcastle upon Tyne. Super excited about that. All right, my darlings, thank you so much for being here. So much for being here. And I can't wait to hear how you get on with this when you try it and apply it. Make sure you come back and post and let me know, yeah, how this goes. All right, my darlings, thank you so much for being here. Namaste. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Have a beautiful rest of the day wherever you are. And I will see you, if not beforehand, Saturday morning. All right, my darlings, thanks so much. All the best for now. Bye.